What started as a routine hijacking attempt quickly turned into a nightmare for a group of unsuspecting pirates. Confident in their plan, they boarded the vessel expecting an easy takeover, but what they encountered next left them completely stunned. This was no ordinary crew, and the pirates were about to face consequences they never imagined. Captain Henry navigated his ship through the choppy waters off the coast of Somalia, unaware of the threat quietly closing in. Suddenly, a metallic clang rang out as grappling hooks latched onto the hull, and armed pirates began boarding, hungry for treasure. But what they didn't know was that Captain Henry had a secret advantage waiting for them. As they stormed the deck with confidence, their bravado quickly faded. The cargo they came for was nothing like they expected. For weeks, a nagging sense of unease had settled in Captain Henry's stomach. His trade route skirted dangerously close to pirate-controlled waters. Though he had weapons on board as a last line of defense, he hoped it would never come to that. Now, the moment Captain Henry had feared was upon him. Figures closed in fast, turning a long-held anxiety into a stark reality. There was no time to spare. Fueled by adrenaline, Henry shouted commands into the intercom, alerting the crew to the imminent pirate threat and directing them to the cafeteria for safety. With one swift move, he shut down the ship's engines, leaving the vessel adrift, a deliberate risk. The pirates, rough around the edges but clearly experienced, boarded the ship with practiced confidence. Captain Douglas, their self-proclaimed leader, hatched a plan. He grabbed the small, high-value goods that could be easily fenced. Pairs and trios of pirates scurried across the deck, their movements confident. Unbeknownst to them, Captain Henry had become a silent observer. A plan bolder than he first imagined began to take shape. 2, then 3 pirates boarded. But first, preparations. A curt message crackled through the radio. Secure the crew in the cafeteria, then join him in the control room. A trap was set, and the unsuspecting pirates were about to walk right in. A nod at Nihal and Samir as they patrolled the unfamiliar deck of the massive ship. Captain Douglas appearing them felt odd, especially considering their rookie status. The sheer size of the vessel sent shivers down their spines. Meanwhile, in the ship's nerve center, Captain Henry and his seasoned first mate, Long, huddled over a blueprint. Their eyes darted, formulating a plan. The ship's intricate layout offered a chance. In the cargo hold, they devised a clever trap, subtly amplifying faint noises to lure the unsuspecting pirates. Nihal and Samir, their AK-47s gripped white-knuckled, followed the amplified clatter. Their rookie nerves turned to disbelief at the sight of a treasure trove. Rows upon rows of gleaming smartphones, a stark contrast to their own rudimentary weapons. Greed eclipsed caution, visions of unimaginable wealth clouding their judgment. Unseeing, Henry and his team watched with pounding hearts through a hidden gap. The allure proved irresistible. Nihal and Samir descended into a frenzy, their pockets overflowing with devices as dreams of riches danced in their heads. Blinded by the promise of fortune, they missed the silent click of a locking door behind them. With a swift gesture, Henry gave the signal. In a flash, the cargo door slammed shut, echoing with the clang of steel bolts. "Looks like we got ourselves trapped, Samir," Nihal finally muttered, the celebratory glint in his eyes replaced by the bitter sting of their own greed. This initial win was a critical first step. Under the unforgiving glare of the mess hall's fluorescence, Henry gathered his crew. Urgency crackled in his voice as he outlined the next move. With a determined stride, Henry returned to the control room, his mission clear: silence every communication device within the cargo hold. He wouldn't let a single word leak back to Captain Douglas, keeping him blind and further isolating his remaining men. Eyes glued to the surveillance monitors, Henry watched Captain Douglas and his crew with the focus of a hunter. Henry reassembled his team. His voice was firm yet controlled. "Stay hidden, stay safe. This isn't over." With solemn nods, the crew vanished back into their concealed positions, ready for the next phase. In the hushed confines of the control room, Henry reached for the radio. His voice low and steady, he contacted the Coast Guard with the seasoned command of a captain in crisis. His words were concise, painting a vivid picture of the danger aboard his vessel. Over the static, Henry relayed the situation. 2 pirates were neutralized, but the larger threat, Captain Douglas and his armed crew, remained at large on board. Despite calling for backup, Henry knew the game wasn't over. His eyes darted across the monitors, his mind a whirlwind of strategies poised to react at a moment's notice. On the other end of the ship, Captain Douglas' brow furrowed in suspicion as he led his remaining men. The missing Nihal and Samir were a stark sign of trouble. Their usual radio chatter was dead silent. Douglas's gut told him something was terribly wrong. Henry's mind raced, formulating a plan to neutralize the threat without endangering his crew. Meanwhile, frustration curled into aggression in the echoing corridors. "Come out, or we'll find you," Captain Douglas roared, his voice thick with menace. He knew the clock was ticking, eroding his control over the unraveling situation. In a bold move, Captain Henry decided to confront Captain Douglas alone, a one-on-one encounter he reasoned might de-escalate the situation and avoid further bloodshed. The crew exchanged worried glances at Henry's plan, their faces etched with concern. Henry, armed with non-lethal tools, aimed to outsmart, not overpower Captain Douglas. An unsettling silence descended on the ship as Henry neared Douglas' location, his eyes vigilant, scanning for any surprise attack. Captain Douglas' gaze narrowed, a war of suspicion and greed raging within him. The promise of plunder was undeniable. They reached the designated spot, an unremarkable corner amidst the maze of cargo containers. With a discreet gesture unseen by the pirates, Henry signaled his hidden crew, leading the pirates to a strategically chosen crate. He revealed a treasure trove of glittering jewelry. The sight ignited a glint in their eyes. 2 pirates, unable to resist the lure, greedily stuffed their bags, their focus entirely diverted from Henry, who watched, waiting for his moment. Seizing their distraction, Henry delivered a swift shove, sending Captain Douglas tumbling through a hidden hatch in the floorboards where a waiting crew lay in ambush. The moment Douglas disappeared into the trap, Henry's crew sprang into action. Caught off guard, the remaining pirates stood no chance against the well-coordinated team. Each move was precise and practiced. The crew worked as a unit, a testament to their training and discipline. Within moments, the final pirate was restrained, his hands tightly bound behind him. On the horizon, a glimmer of hope appeared, a Coast Guard cutter cutting swiftly through the waves, its silhouette growing larger with every passing second. A wave of relief swept over the crew, mingled with a quiet pride in their quick thinking and resilience. As the Coast Guard vessel pulled up beside them, Henry guided the officers to the spot where the pirates sat, subdued and defeated. One by one, they were turned over, including a stunned Captain Douglas, his face now etched with shock and disbelief, a far cry from the cocky confidence he displayed just hours before. The Coast Guard officers, calm and methodical, began the debriefing with sharp focus. They listened intently as Captain Henry detailed the harrowing events, his voice still laced with the tension of the ordeal. With every nod of recognition and word of praise, the crew felt the burden of the past hours begin to ease. The officers commended their bravery, swift action, and the critical role they played in averting disaster, a powerful affirmation of their training, unity, and strength under pressure. What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.